Who are the most versatile Pokemon of all time? Pokemon with significant variety in the different viable sets they can use, sometimes even being able to fill multiple different roles. Scizor is an example of a very versatile Pokemon. Scizor is a staple of multiple generations of OU, and that's thanks to its great Bug Steel typing, its high attack and defense stats, its powerful ability Technician, which boosts the damage of moves with 60 power or less, and its excellent option of Bullet Punch, which is a stab priority move powered up by Technician. But another reason for Scizor's excellence, beyond these fundamentally powerful traits, is its versatility. Scizor can take advantage of so many different attacking options, items, and EV spreads, sometimes feeling like a totally different Pokemon depending on the set. Straightforwardly, Scizor can run a choice item, like a Choice Band, and just go for all-out aggression. Choice Band is an item that increases your attack stat by 1.5x, with the drawback of locking you into a single move until you switch out. Scizor can take good advantage of this, appreciating the immediate firepower alongside strong options like Bullet Punch and U-Turn. Choice Scarf is also a good option on Scizor to give it the benefit of a fast U-Turn, and these choice sets tend to run Pursuit in the generations where that still exists, because it is a great way to trap and eliminate Psychic and Ghost types, and anything else that might be low HP forced out by Scizor's other options. You can nab a KO on them. Beyond choice items, Scizor can run Swords Dance Sweeper sets. Swords Dance is a straightforward boosting move that raises your attack by 2. And Scizor will usually want Bullet Punch with this, but you can also carry Bug Bite if you want a nice bug stab move that is boosted by Technician. Superpower is a considerable option here. You could also consider Roost. Roost is a straightforward healing move, and this is where some of the variety comes from, because Scizor's Swords Dance sets can be very aggressive with investment in speed and a Life Orb as an item to maximize aggression, or they can run Leftovers, which provides healing over time, and take advantage of Scizor's good defensive typing, invest probably in some HP, and sometimes even use Scizor as a defensive check to things. This is already a good amount of variety by itself. Different items are possible, different moveset options are possible, and different investment into bulk is possible, but in Gen 6 this variety increased even further as Scizor gained a lot of new options. Scizor of course received a new Mega form, and Mega Scizor is a very powerful Mega. It has massive stat increases across the board, and is now the more common way to run Scizor for these Swords Dance sets, because the stat increases are probably more valuable than anything you're going to get out of a held item. But Scizor is a rare Pokemon that is actually viable in its base state without the Mega Stone. For one, this frees up your allies and allows a different Mega to exist on the team, and also Scizor can carry those choice items that are still ever valuable for it, which it cannot do in its Mega form, of course, since it's holding the Mega Stone in those cases. And Gen 6 also introduced another key option on Scizor, which was Defog, allowing Scizor to actually just be a proper defensive utility Pokemon. Usually it's Mega Scizor doing this, but look at this set with defense investment and a plus defense nature, no attack investment at all, healing from Roost, and Defog. Defog, if you're not aware, is a utility move that removes hazards from both sides of the field, a great form of hazard control. And Scizor is a pretty nice Pokemon at just being a bulky hazard removing guy, with the healing from Roost and the fantastic defense, fantastic typing. Scizor can now completely reinvent itself, no longer being an offensive win condition or a brute force choice band wall breaker, now just being a defensive pivot and utility Pokemon. U-Turn certainly helps here, allowing Scizor to leverage its defenses for a bit of momentum and slow pivoting. So Scizor can be defensive, offensive, operating at various different paces in between those spectrums as well. Certainly a very versatile creature, you cannot deny it. Up next, I would be remiss not to mention Clefable in the versatility conversation. Clefable, famous for its versatility. This is one of the most excellent fairy types in the series, and I would say its greatest strength is its versatile move pool. Clefable most commonly uses the ability Magic Guard, which is an elite ability, making you immune to all indirect damage. Clefable has the straightforward healing of Soft Boiled, the standard Stab Fairy type special attack of Moonblast, which is pretty commonly seen on most of its sets, but now is where the versatility comes in, because beyond this, you can kind of go crazy with Clefable. You can run Clefable as a Calm Mind win condition, Calm Mind boosting up its special attack and special defense, and with physical defense investment in the EVs, this can be a very effective snowbally boost sweeper indeed. Flamethrower is a good special coverage option, and Clefable has many different special attacks it can use. Thunderbolt is fantastic, Ice Beam is fantastic. Grass Knot is probably a bit lesser seen, but still valid coverage, grass coverage. So the Calm Mind sets have variety in the different coverage options they can utilize, but there's more than just Calm Mind sets on this guy. I've got Stealth Rock, could be a hazard setter for goodness sake. Stealth Rock, an incredibly valuable option. There's Knockoff, which is item removal. Not really used for the damage in this case, mostly for the item removal, but this is a very common and fantastic option on Clefable. Thunderwave, very impactful status move that paralyzes the target, getting immediate massive value. A very popular option on Clefable. Toxic, of course. Many things get it, but Clefable uses it well. Clefable also gets Encore, another fantastic utility move that forces the target to repeat themselves for 3 turns. Great to punish boost sweepers or Pokemon locked into moves like Stealth Rock or healing moves, that sort of thing. It's a great option to have in the back pocket. It can save you a game. You've got Aromatherapy, which can cure the status of your entire party. You have Trick. You can give the enemy a bad item, like a Flame Orb or a Sticky Barb or something like that. You can just give them the item. Probably Knockoff is going to be better, but it's, it's something else that Clefable can do. It can do so many different things. Offensive Pokemon, because you can run Life Orb on it, and Life Orb is great on Clefable because Magic Guard makes you immune to the Life Orb recoil. So this is just a straightforward damage increase, and sometimes you can even go like 3 attacks with Soft Boiled, and that is justifiable on a Life Orb set, or just go Calm Mind with Life Orb to enhance your damage output. But special attack invested Clefable with Life Orb is a genuine thing. Also, you don't have to run Magic Guard because Unaware is also a viable choice. Unaware is the other ability Clefable has that is very good, ignoring enemy stat stage changes and allowing Clefable to be a counter to boost sweepers like Dragon Dance or Swords Dance or Calm Mind sweepers from the enemy, since you ignore all their offensive boosts and answer them very well. Magic Guard is the more popular option, but Unaware is a genuinely considerable one that you do see on Clefable, and it's just another wrinkle to this Pokemon's insane versatility. Some of the most customizable different options when it comes to attacks, utility, EV spreads, items, etc. This is truly one of the most customizable Pokemon of all time in the OU environment, absolutely. Folks, they're making me do it. They have a gun to my head. They are forcing me once again to speak about Landorus Therian in my competitive Pokemon video. I want you to know that this was not my choice and they made me do it. They made me talk about Landorus Therian. We all know that Landorus Therian is incredibly versatile and good and does all sorts of powerful things. It's a Pokemon with a great typing and ability and stats and move pool. Landorus Therian is known for being able to fill different kinds of roles. It's of course proficient as an aggressive hazard-setting lead in many generations, where its high attack, access to Stealth Rock, and the ability to just explode begins the game with a real bang. Doesn't it? You make rocks and do all that you like. Landorus Therian can be a proficient Choice Scarf Pokemon. It's great with U-Turn to go fast and can still check things with Intimidate and its typing. Landorus Therian can be a Boost Sweeper. It has Rock Polish and Swords Dance. Double Dance Landorus is a genuine win condition that can use the powerful Rock Ground coverage combo to sweep games. Landorus Therian can be fully defensive with Leftovers or Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rock and U-Turn, and even Defog in the generations where it gets this knockoff. Toxic. Landorus Therian's defensive sets have real variety in how they can be used, with the Earthquake being considerable, of course. You can run HP Ice to hit enemy Landorus and Dragonite and Garchomp and a bunch of things. It's kind of random to run a Hidden Power, a random special attack on Landorus, but it's good. Also in Gen 9, they cut a bunch of this guy's options. They reduced its versatility by getting rid of Knockoff and Defog from its moveset, and yet it's still inventing new sets, because one of the most popular sets for Landorus Therian in Gen 9 OU is Defensive Special Attacking Landorus, which has not really existed before at the level of proficiency, using Earth Power instead of its usual Earthquake, because this allows it to do more damage against key targets like Iron Treads and Great Tusk, who have very high physical defense but low special defense. Also Zamazenta, who boosts its defense with its ability and Iron Defense, the boosting move. Earth Power just hits it on the special side and bypasses those physical boosts. You can even consider Grass Knot on this set, or Psychic, to directly threaten Great Tusk and Dondozo. Taunt as well, an option I didn't mention before, but one of the options it has for a bit of utility. Of course, in Gen 9 it can still also run Choice Scarf and straightforwardly offensive sets. It's a versatile Pokemon, folks. It's versatile, it's got options abound, and we all know it too. And we all know it, and we didn't need to hear it again, did we, Landorus Therian? Can you stop putting a gun to my head and making me talk about you in my videos? We all know who you are. We all know about you already, and we're sick of hearing it, okay? We're sick of it, Landorus. It's not enough to be so excellent. You have to watch videos about yourself all the time, and look yourself up on YouTube and watch things like How Good Was Landorus Therian Actually by Full Swipe Gaming and videos like that. Come on, Landorus Therian, you know how good you were actually. You get over yourself, damn you. Another extremely versatile Pokemon is the Gen 7 pseudo-legendary Como-O. Como-O has a bunch of different viable sets, moveset options, roles it can fill, and even ability variety. Como-O is a dragon fighting type with very well-rounded stats, and this is part of the reason it can be so versatile, is because it has a little bit of everything in the stats, a bit of bulk, special attack, physical attack, it's not too slow either. For something so bulky. Como-O's main claim to fame in Gen 7 was its excellent signature Z move that hits for 1,000,000 damage and then boosts all of your stats. So this is straightforwardly great as a big move that boosts you and turns you into a little bit of a sweeper with whatever offensive options you really want. But beyond just this Z move, there's other sets that are viable on Como-O. First of all, the ability can be either bulletproof or soundproof, which both offer interesting immunities. Bulletproof makes you immune to bullet and ball based moves like Shadow Ball, Bullet Seed, Focus Blast, etc., while Soundproof makes you immune to roar and hyper voice and sound attacks and sound status moves. Both have their value. Even Overcoat has its value, making you immune to powder moves such as Sleep Powder and Spore. Probably not as useful as the others, but it has genuine merit over them, in theory. Como-O can also run Dragon Dance. It has Dragon Dance as a physical boosting option. It can run all sorts of different physical attacks. Close Combat is its best stab move. It also has Ice Punch for coverage. I believe it has all of the elemental punches, Thunder, Fire, and Ice Punch, which are beautiful. They're not very high base power attacks, but they're very nice just for coverage to hit specific things. You've got Earthquake and Iron Head and Poison Jab, which threaten fairy types that would possibly want to switch in against you. Just an insanely varied physical move pool. A Dragon Dance set could run so many different possible things. It can even run special attacks, because your special move pool is also good. You've got Clanging Scales, which is your signature dragon type special attack, which is an amazing attack. The high power and a very limited drawback of only -1 defense. You've got Flamethrower, and Como-O can also run this really cool Belly Drum set. With Substitute and then Belly Drum, you get 50% of your health taken away for the benefit of maximizing your attack stat. And now, with the health subtraction from both Substitute and Belly Drum, you're in range to consume a Salac Berry to gain +1 speed. And then you have Drain Punch. Drain Punch is able to heal you all the way back, presumably, considering how much damage it's about to deal. And this can sweep in the right circumstance. They're expecting one Como-O set, and you hit them with the Sub-Belly Drum insane sweeper Gambit, and you go to the moon. I had a lot of fun using this in Gen 7 OU back in the day. This is a very cool set. And also there's variety in what coverage option you use. You probably want Drain Punch to heal off the damage you take and be a good form of fighting a stab generally, but got Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch, all of your other physical options I just mentioned, all are valid here. In Gen 8, Como-O lost the ability to utilize Z moves, so its identity changed a bit, but it gained the new option of Clangorous Soul, which is a unique boosting move that only it gets. You subtract 33% of your HP for the benefit of +1 to all of your stats, and that's pretty outstanding. This can enable interesting boost sweeping sets with all of your physical and special attacking options I just mentioned, since you gain physical and special attack with this boost. So this itself enables like a million different sets. Also, they gave Kommo-o the move Body Press, which is a fantastic way to lean into a defensive set, and now Kommo-o can be a defensive Pokemon. Body Press attacks based on your defense stat instead of attack. It's a fighting type option with stab on it. And Kommo-o does have a great defense stat of 125, so Body Press hits very hard. It also has good utility like Stealth Rock, which I haven't even mentioned thus far, but yes, that's another thing it can do is set Stealth Rock, which is always good. And Toxic is just thrown on here as a nice utility move to do something with a defensive set. And this became the most popular set for Kommo-o in Gen 8, actually, because the Body Press and the Bulletproof and the defensive excellence was all there. But of course, all the same set variety Kommo-o already had in Gen 7 applies here, and also in Gen 9. In Gen 9, there is even the new option of Throat Spray, which Kommo-o can take pretty good advantage of. Throat Spray is a item that grants you a special attack boost after using a sound move, and conveniently, Clangorous Soul is a sound move, so you can just use this and get an additional boost to special attack after that. So that's another option for Kommo-o. Unfortunately, Kommo-o's versatility isn't enough to have it be that viable. It's good in Gen 7 with the insane Z move, but ever since then it has not been OU ranked. But I think it's a cool Pokemon that always finds fun ways to fill gaps on teams, and you see it every so often. Undeniably a Pokemon that is extremely varied in the different things it can achieve. I would also like to give some respect to an under-discussed Pokemon in the realm of versatility. I don't know if a lot of people view Empoleon as a particularly versatile creature, but in Gen 4 OU, the peak of its career, Empoleon had so many different viable sets it could take advantage of, and one of its greatest strengths was its versatility. Empoleon is a Water-Steel type starter Pokemon, which is a great defensive typing, and its stats are honestly not the most outstanding, but they were good enough for the time for it to be OU ranked. Alongside its typing, it has special attack as its highest stat with 111, pretty good special defense of 101, and the rest are not as exciting, especially not the speed, which is only 60. Empoleon's most popular set is probably just its lead sets. It can equip a Focus Sash to grant it insurance against a one-hit from the enemy, and it's great as a lead because it has Stealth Rock, which is what you want to do in Gen 4 OU, is set Stealth Rock as soon as possible to get your foot in the door. But if it can't set Stealth Rock, because there's a taunt user in front of it, or some other reason it may not want to, it has incredible offensive tools. It has Hydro Pump, which will conveniently get a Torrent boost if they hit you into the Focus Sash range. You have Ice Beam and Grass Knot, and this is pretty much able to threaten just about any lead in the whole game. Empoleon can also utilize Aqua Jet, which may seem like a weird option since its attack is not that high, but this is cool as a way to break enemy Focus Sashes if you've hit them once, and also it actually gets a boost from Torrent if they have hit you down to the Focus Sash as well, so it does a little bit more damage than you might expect. It's actually a pretty cool option that Empoleon has on its lead sets. But beyond lead sets, Empoleon can be a sweeper with Agility. Agility is a move that boosts your speed by 2 stages, and you can straightforwardly just use Agility and all of your good special attacks to sweep in an endgame scenario, and that can work. What's nice about Empoleon compared to similar Pokemon that do this is that its defensive typing means it's not getting chipped by sand, and it's resilient against Stealth Rock too, because of the steel typing resisting rock. Other similar Pokemon may get worn down by sand and hazards, but not Empoleon. It's relatively sturdy on top of being a good sweeper. What you can also do is run various different items on such a set. Shuka Berry is popular because it shields you from a single ground type attack incoming, and those are common to threaten Empoleon. You can Agility in the face of a Flygon, for example, and not die, and then threaten them with a Ice Beam to reverse the scenario. Actually quite a great sequence that you can pull off there, but alternatively you can run, of course, different type berries like Wakan Berry or Truffle Berry. I think Shuka is the most popular, but those are still considerable too. And then you can also run Pataya Berry, which allows you to get an extra special attack boost when you're at a quarter max HP or less. You can run Substitute to not only, put a plush merchandise figure in front of you to shield you from harm, shield you from status, etc., but also to lower your health down to the range where Pitaya Berry gets consumed, and also into the range of Torrent, which boosts your water type damage, and then with Agility, which you presumably have selected before then, you can kind of just destroy the whole world with a +1 Torrent boosted Hydro Pump and go to the absolute moon. So that's another considerable option. Empoleon can also just be a straight up defensive war. It has the excellent typing, it's got good special defense, and Empoleon is a pretty fantastic check to things like Latios and various special threats, really. Empoleon also has pretty good defensive utility. It has Stealth Rock, as we've mentioned, and it could be a bulkier Stealth Rock setter in this case, using defensive entry points for the Stealth Rock opportunities. It has Roar to force the enemy out and prevent their boosts from existing any longer, and shuffle enemies around for Stealth Rock or Spike's chip as well. You also have Knockoff for item removal, something else to do that can be quite impactful, removing leftovers from a key target. And then of course you just can have Surf or Ice Beam or whatever else you like as a general attack to at least pose a threat in some scenarios, as many defensive Pokemon do. Also, this is a more fringe set here, but I have seen before that Empoleon can actually run a physical set, and it's kind of crazy, and it's not as common as its other sets, but it's a possible set it can run, because it does have Swords Dance to boost its attack. It has Aqua Jet, as we mentioned, and this can be a pretty cool combo in an endgame, Swords Dance Aqua Jet to clean up with priority. You also get Waterfall for normal water stab. As for other physical options, you have Earthquake, which is actually really good, and you have Brick Break for fighting coverage as well. I think Earthquake is probably going to be the more common option there. Now, I must mention this is a very fringe set. I've seen it, I think Soulwind used it or somebody, or BKC, in a tournament game. And although Empoleon only has 86 attack, Swords Dance is a physical boost where Empoleon does not have a special boost actually. So a single turn of Swords Dance will give you a pretty impressive damage output, and it's also going to be unexpected. They're probably going to go to a special wall against Empoleon if they do choose to defensively exit, and then, wouldn't you know it, just threatening them with a +2 Waterfall or something. The powerful Aqua Jet can also have incredible surprise value. Pretty cool set, this one, and just another point in favor of Empoleon's versatility. Unfortunately, beyond Gen 4 OU, Empoleon's not that great, but I think it has an impressive amount of versatility when you consider that in some ways its options are limited. Like the special defense set is using Roar and Stealth Rock, and it doesn't actually have healing, it doesn't actually have a special boosting move, and yet it can fill all these different roles anyway, with options that are just good enough. Many of you know that I have qualms with the Gen 4 OU metagame, that's no secret, but one of my favorite parts of this metagame is the presence of this beautiful penguin, Empoleon. I actually think it's one of the coolest and most well-balanced OU Pokemon ever, that is all around just a positive and joyous individual that brings happiness to others. And I think we should celebrate Pokemon like this in our darkest hours. In a world full of paraflinching and that damn hippo who, yes, I've come to terms with, but there's still a scar left by what he did. In that terrible world, Empoleon is a beacon of hope for me, and a creature that is altruistic and good at the core, something we sorely need in trying times. We are now getting into extreme versatile territory. We must of course speak about Tyranitar here. Tyranitar is famous for its versatility, one of the most successful competitive Pokemon in the history of the entire game, and across different generations the versatility shifts. In Gen 3 it has multiple different viable sets, and people make up sets for Tyranitar. You of course have standard Dragon Dance Tyranitar in Gen 3. The most popular set is this one with Lumberry, Max Speed, Max Attack, and Dragon Dance Rock Slide Earthquake and Hidden Power Bug. But even this set can be mixed and matched. You can run Double Edge instead of Hidden Power Bug for powerful neutral coverage and a way to self-KO. In scenarios where that's useful, you can run Taunt to deny enemies from roaring you out, deny enemies from statusing you. Instead of Lumberry, you could run Salackberry or Lychee Berry. Salackberry gives you a further speed boost, allowing you to outrun things like Aerodactyl. Lychee Berry gives you another attack bonus, which can be very relevant. Dragon Dance Tyranitar itself can be bulky Dragon Dance instead of offensive Dragon Dance, with mostly HP investment here, and leftovers. This is a form of Dragon Dance Tyranitar that is not so all in on boosting. You can just operate as a normal bulky attacker for most of the game and then boost up when the situation calls for it. And this set has significant variety as well, with things like Focus Punch being a genuine option here. Counter is even valued on these sets, because you can live one Meteor Mash from Metagross, for example, then counter to just eliminate them in one hit. You can live a lot of hits and then counter back things. It's actually a pretty good bait to pull off. There's even Dragon Dance sets that have random special options, like for example, Dragon Dance Ice Beam. This set is able to lure in Flygon and eliminate it with a one-hit KO using the Ice Beam, with enough special investment for that. Dragon Dance HP Grass is the similar option that hits Swampert. Swampert will often live this from full, but it will do considerable damage to it, threatening a 2-hit KO. Can do a massive chunk of its HP if you correctly read them switching in. You can also drop Dragon Dance. Run Tyranitar is just a bulky attacker, and this has many options. You can run Focus Punch or Roar or Toxic Thunderwave. Sub Focus Punch Tyranitar is a good set that you can utilize. Sub Focus Punch Tyranitar can be also a special attacking set with options like Crunch and Fire Blast. Speaking of Crunch, you can run Pursuit Tyranitar in this generation, which is primarily used to eliminate Gengar and other ghost types, but it can also be used as a general bulky special attacker. Crunch does good damage to a lot of things. Fire Blast threatens Forretress, Skarmory, Metagross, etc. And then last, this is a flex slot. There can be a million different things. Roar is good. Earthquake is good to hit Jirachi and do some physical damage to things. Brick Break is good to hit enemy Tyranitar, Blissey, Snorlax. Focus Punch is good for the same purpose, with a little bit more prediction required. Thunderbolt is genuinely an option to hit water types. HP Grass to hit Swampert. Goodness gracious, Tyranitar. Stop having so many options. And it doesn't end there. There's Mixed Tyranitar. There's Choice Band Tyranitar. Do I need to go through all the possible variation? Because even Mixed Tyranitar has like different things it can run. This is the standard one, Fire, Grass, Ice, Brick Break, but you can go Rock Slide over Ice Beam if you want to hit stuff with more physical damage and threaten Moltres and Charizard more and such. Have a flinch chance. Some people run Ancient Power because it's more accurate than Rock Slide. It hits the same target, so the 10% stat raise chance. Choice Band Tyranitar also exists with plenty of moveset variation on that. And that's just Gen 3. And then there's Gen 4, where like a million new Tyranitar sets came out for goodness sake. Everything changed because it became the physical special split, so you have like Crunch and Pursuit, which are physical moves now. Ice Punch and Fire Punch and Thunder Punch are all physical moves now. So Dragon Dance Tyranitar has 10 trillion different possible options, with usually Crunch, but then it can run Stone Edge, Earthquake, all the elemental punches, Taunt, all sorts of different berries, Lumberry, the type berries like Pasho and Shuka Berry and Troupple Berry. You can run all-purpose bulky Tyranitar with various different EV benchmarks it can have. Crunch, Pursuit as the standard option, Pursuit being there to trap ghosts and psychics, and then literally whatever the hell you want in the other two slots for coverage to hit things that you need to hit. And whatever item you want, Troupple, Pasho, Leftovers, Lumberry, Kustap Berry. There's now Choice Scarf Tyranitar, Choice Band Tyranitar, Sub Punch Tyranitar. I don't see that too often in Gen 4, but why the hell not? It would be fine, I think. You can run... I think I've even seen like bulky Rest Tyranitar, call me crazy, with Chesto Berry, maybe without even Chesto Berry. You can just make stuff up on Tyranitar, I swear to you. In Gen 5, it's similar. All the same variety exists. And in Gen 6, they added a bunch of new stuff that Tyranitar could get. It's got a Mega now, but actually, sometimes it doesn't use the Mega and it just uses like Assault Vest with Pursuit. Dragon Dance sets, bulky sets. It has Thunder Wave as well. I didn't even mention this. It has Thunder Wave, so it can para stuff. That's genuinely impactful and good. Tyranitar's versatility is difficult to comprehend, and in every single generation it gets new sets and different sets that seem to spawn in from thin air. So I would certainly put Tyranitar in the category of extraordinarily versatile, to the point of genuine insanity. But folks, I think a Pokemon even more versatile than Tyranitar is actually Jirachi. Jirachi was introduced in Gen 3, a new mythical creature, and Jirachi was kind of designed to be absurdly versatile, it seems, because it has 100 in every single one of its base stats, meaning it can be built any way you want in the stats department. You can run it as an offensive Pokemon, a defensive Pokemon, and also utilize either physical or special attack. And in Gen 3 OU, this versatility is on full display. One of the more straightforward ways to run Jirachi is just with max special attack and max speed, and then with Calm Mind and 3 attacks. This is pretty standard, just using it as an offensive special attacking sweeper. But even this set has insane variety with the moveset options you can use. Psychic is pretty common, but there's also Fire Punch, which is a special attack in Gen 3, Hidden Power Grass to hit things like Swampert and Melodic, etc. But you also have Thunderbolt and Ice Punch as possible options too. Calm Mind sets also have variety in their EV spreads and possible options because you can run Max HP Jirachi with Substitute and Calm Mind, and this is actually a set that can 1v1 Blissey because it's able to make a 101 health substitute, surviving Seismic Toss behind a substitute, allowing you to outpace Blissey and eventually 1v1 it. So these sets can vary a lot in the speed benchmarks they hit, bulk benchmarks they hit, and also the coverage they use. They're limited to 2 attacks, but still quite good anyway. And you can go from Thunderbolt Ice Punch to Thunder Ice Punch instead if you want a bit more firepower and Parachance on top. You've got Fire Punch and HP Grass and Psychic. You can mix and match all of those different options for insane variety there. There's also Calm Mind Wish Jirachi, which is a different way to go, using Wish as a form of healing, alongside a bulky Calm Mind set that can also provide support to your team. Speaking of Wish, you can go full-on defensive Jirachi. F being an offensive threat, you can just use this as a damn special wall, or a physical wall. Both are valid because its stats are evenly distributed, so you can go physical or special wall Jirachi. And this set uses the Wish Protect combo as a form of reliable healing and a way to heal allies. It uses Body Slam, of course, for the 60% para, boosted by Serene Grace. Usually uses Fire Punch as well to hit things like Skarmory, Forretress, etc., and also fish for 20% burn chances. This set can also run Toxic if you want, instead of Body Slams, a different form of status. You can punish various things. You can also go crazy with Jirachi and go Choice Band Jirachi and run Hidden Power Fighting, which is a physical attack in Gen 3, and this can absolutely destroy an incoming Blissey or something that thinks they're safe. And it's not actually that bad because you actually have a decent attack stat and the Choice Band boost. You also get Doom Desire, which hits 2 turns after being used, and is weird in Gen 3. It deals damage based on the guy that it was attacking on the very first turn. So if, for example, you use Doom Desire against a Blissey and then a Skarmory is in 2 turns later, it will take the damage that Blissey would have taken, so it can one-shot Skarmory in that instance, which is kind of crazy. Also, there's Mixed Jirachi, which I think is the most underrated Jirachi set. It's actually a great set, and this is where there's real variety in how you can use the guy, because you can run something like this with, oh, I don't know, something like that. Is there even a suggested mix set? There is. This one suggests Fire Grass, Body Slam, and Dynamic Punch with the leftovers. I think Lumberry's good, because it's an offensive set that wants to tank one Thunder Wave in a lot of cases. Dynamic Punch is crazy here. Jirachi just randomly gets this huge fighting type attack with 50 accuracy. It's an explosive option that can really destroy, in particular, Tyranitar, who thinks that they wall you and then they get Dynamic Punch. It can also spread confusion on stuff. I think the more honorable thing to do is run HP Fighting, which is more accurate and does not confuse the enemy. But if you're a gambler, you can run Dynamic Punch. So that's just Gen 3, and then in Gen 4 they gave Jirachi even more stuff. Now it has Stealth Rock, U-Turn, and Iron Head. Iron Head is the biggest thing it got, which is a Steel-type physical flinch move that has 60% flinch thanks to Serene Grace. This would open up physical Jirachi as the most popular Jirachi set, with this Fire Punch, which is also a physical attack, Body Slam and Iron Head combo. 60% flinch plus para is, of course, insanely broken and can force inaction many turns in a row. So now there's a whole element of physical Jirachi that now exists. There's physical utility Jirachi with Wish support that spreads para. There's offensive Jirachi. There's Calm Mind Jirachi still existing, and Calm Mind Jirachi has more options like Grass Knot and Draco Meteor and things like that. It's got all the type berries to utilize. Can be a physical or special wall, of course, still a mixed attacker, and even a Choice Scarfer. Choice Scarf is actually kind of crazy because you have Iron Head to hit with speed and flinch a guy. You have U-Turn, which is a pivoting option, great on a Scarf guy. You got Trick. Jirachi is a rare Pokemon that I think can genuinely do everything. It can be a physical attacker, special attacker, both. It can be a mixed attacker, it can be a physical wall, special wall, utility guy, And it can just mix and match in between these and sort of invent new merger archetypes between the things, like a semi-physical attacker, semi-utility guy, even having stealth, rock, and status, and just everything you could ever possibly dream of. And from Gen 3 to Gen 5, this was on full force. Jirachi was a great Pokemon in these generations. Kind of fell off later, though, as 100 base stats was no longer actually that good, and Psychic got worse over time. But I think its versatility is still there, inarguably, even if the power level of the actual Pokemon itself has dwindled in comparison to other things that now exist. But certainly, this is one of the most versatile creatures that has ever existed in any context in the entire world. I think another Pokemon underrated in the versatility discussion is actually Celesteela. This probably does not come to mind as a particularly versatile Pokemon, the Gen 7 Ultra Beast, but Celesteela is also a Pokemon that can kind of do every role, and it has the tools to do so. Celesteela also has very well-rounded stats. They're not quite 100 in every base stat, but it's pretty close. It's got almost 100 in most of its stats, with its lowest being speed at 61, and this enables it to lean into various different roles. Special wall, physical attacker, special attacker, with relatively evenly matched stats in all of those things. Celesteela also has a benefit over Jirachi, having a superior typing. Steel Flying is one of the best type combinations in the whole game, famous on Pokemon like Skarmory and Corviknight, and Celesteela is among them with its defensive excellence. Celesteela is a much better Pokemon than Jirachi in the generations where it exists, and the most popular way to use Celesteela is just as a defensive Pokemon, taking advantage of its great typing. It has Leech Seed, which is its main form of pressure and healing. Leech Seed is a pretty nice status move that saps enemy HP. It can use Protect to chip heal and get more out of the Leech Seed damage. And then it can use miscellaneous attacks to threaten things. Heavy Slam is a great one. Deals more damage the heavier you are. I believe Celesteela has quite a high weight, so Heavy Slam does great work. But even here, there's versatility in the possible different options it can have. I think it can run Toxic and Air Slash, all sorts of different moves. Celesteela has an incredibly vast physical and special attacking move pool. Heavy Slam just mentioned, but it also has Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb for grass coverage, Stone Edge for rock coverage, Superpower for fighting coverage. That's a lot, man. For special attacks, Air Slash is a nice flying stab option. Really nice. It's a great offensive type. You have Energy Ball, Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Flash Cannon for Steel Stab, and Giga Drain and Grass Knot for grass coverage, both of which have their uses. This enables Celesteela to not only be either physical or special wall with these options, but also a sweeper. You have Automatize, which raises your speed by 2, and you have all of those outstanding options I mentioned. Automatize makes up for your one drawback, which is your low speed, and then a common thing to do is actually run Weakness Policy on this. Take a super effective hit, raise your offensive stats by 2 each, and then just go crazy. Celesteela also has Beast Boost as another way to ramp its offenses. This raises your highest stat by 1 if you earn a KO, and you can invest in either special attack or physical attack to boost the offensive stat that you like with that. I don't think Celesteela is technically as versatile as Jirachi or Tyranitar are. The one part where it's lacking is utility options, but in terms of roles it can fill, it's pretty incredible. Celesteela can do a lot, and it ends up being a very powerful Pokemon as a result of that versatility. The most popular set is the defensive one, but the other sets are genuinely valuable and a big part of the reason that it is so successful. Now, of course, when it comes to versatility, there is one Pokemon that probably comes to mind first when you think of the concept, and that is Mew. Mew is versatility, the Pokemon. Much like Jirachi, Mew has 100 base stats across the board, meaning it can be molded to your will, to be anything from a physical attacker to a special attacker to a physically or special defensive wall. But also, Mew is famous for being able to learn any TM in the whole game, giving it one of the vastest move pools in the whole series. And so Mew has a truly absurd amount of different options. Mew can be a special attacking win condition with Nasty Plot, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Aura Sphere, something like this. It also has Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, I think it probably has even more. It probably has Energy Ball. Yes, it does. You just imagine an attack and it probably has it because it's Mew. It's got Swords Dance. You can literally run Swords Dance Mew. It doesn't look like a physical attacker, but it can work as well. You get Stabs in, Headbutt, Drain Punch, Sucker Punch. This alone is just a great set. This can work. I think it probably gets Stone Edge. Yeah. I didn't even know that Mew got that. I thought of a move. Does it get that? Yes. Earthquake? Yeah. It gets Earth Power as well. Earthquake. It gets just every attack you can dream of. So you can run Swords Dance, Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, and then whatever moveset you can possibly dream up. It has the Healing of Roost as well, which certainly helps. And then there's the utility set. So you can run like a utility Mew like this. This is a Gen 8 set with spikes. It has spikes, of course. It has knockoff, Taunt and Roost. Sure, man, why not? You can run Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Body Press Mew. I mean, look at that. I wasn't even aware of this. It's a Gen 8 suggested set. I'm learning new things about Mew mid-video. I didn't know it got Body Press. That's crazy. Uses your defensive stat in damage calc. This, of course, boosts your defense. Stored Power deals damage based on your boost. This is a psychic fighting coverage in a set that ramps your defenses to the moon. Now, the sets I'm familiar with utilize Stealth Rock, Will-O-Wisp, Soft Boiled, or Roost, which are sort of the same. And then miscellaneous option here, like Taunt, Thunderwave, Flamethrower to hit Ferrothorn, or Earthquake to hit Heatran, or Earth Power to hit Heatran, or just any attack, any flex attack that you need to hit whatever you want. Ice Beam is good. This is a great set. Just heal, burn stuff, set rocks. You can also go Taunt. You can run HP and Speed on this, HP and Defense, HP and Special Defense, whatever the hell you can dream up. What sets are in Gen 7? I believe in Gen 7 it also gets the exclusive Z move. Yeah, Munium Z, which is a Psychic type Z move that sets Psychic terrain on the field when you use it. Oh, you also get Rock Polish for speed boosting, in case you needed that. Oh, how beautiful, how auspicious. I honestly love Mew. I think it's so cool to just have this Swiss Army knife Pokemon that can do absolutely anything in your wildest dreams and fill gaps like an absolute champion. And it feels balanced because the other parts of it kind of suck. Like, the best part of it is that versatility and the combinations of things it can get that other Pokemon cannot get. But its ability is just Synchronize, which is kind of boring by modern standards. Just synchronizes status effects to the enemy. It's not amazing. And it's a mono Psychic type, which is not a great typing either by modern standards, but that is offset by the sheer amount of ridiculous versatility that you can achieve with Mew. And when you see on Mew, you genuinely have no idea what it could do. It could do so many different possible things. And I love that. I love the fact that it has such sheer variety. Unfortunately, Mew kind of sucks in Gen 9. And the reason is because they cut its most important option, which kind of held it together, which was the healing. It doesn't have Roost or Soft Boiled or Recover anymore. And I think it's kind of a tragedy. I think Mew is a Pokemon that honestly is good for balance. It's not overwhelming at all, and it's great for team building to fill gaps. It probably helps in bad or unbalanced metagames to have Mew, since it can target anything at once. So I think this nerf to Mew is kind of a disaster. I think it probably would have been alright if it could still Soft Boiled, but I mean, it was holding on to OU in Gen 8 still. It was very good there. But now it's RU, unfortunately. I think it has fringe viability because it has spikes and coverage, and it can be a lead with Focus Sash, but it's a shell of its former self because it lost recovery. I hope it gets recovery back. I think it's a terrible disaster that it lost recovery. But I think that Mew would certainly take the cake as the king of all versatility, at least when it comes to OU Pokemon. Who is more versatile than Mew in the whole world? Now, I feel like the comments are gonna destroy me if I do not at least mention Smeargle here, and I don't actually think Smeargle is as versatile as you think, but first allow me to explain who Smeargle is and what he does. Smeargle is a Pokemon whose gimmick is the fact that it can learn any move in the whole game, thanks to its signature move Sketch, which permanently copies the enemy's move, giving it the capacity to learn anything. But the thing about Smeargle is that it's a mono-normal type with horrendous stats, and the only real good thing about it is the fact that it can learn any move in the game. And this means that it leans more towards running a Focus Sash to just survive a hit, and then miscellaneous utility, like Spore, Sticky Web, Hazards, maybe Nuzzle, something like Healing Wish, I don't know. Just whatever random utility, and that's just what it does. Stone Axe. It's actually quite limited in what it can do by its stats. It can't actually be a sweeper. It can't be a defensive wall. It's just a guy that clicks utility moves, and it can click any utility move in the world, and yet usually it's clicking Spore and Sticky Web. It's usually Spore and Sticky Web and Stealth Rock, and that's it. Actually, most Smeagol sets are the same. It can run a bunch of flex options, like the 4th moveset varies a lot. Maybe it's not Sticky Web, it's Spikes. Maybe it's like whatever that move is that lowers your speed. Toxic Thread. But actually, Smeagol is not as versatile as you would think for a Pokemon that can learn all moves in the game. I just feel as if I have to mention it because people are probably going to talk about it in the comments. But Mew is way more versatile because it can actually function in all the different roles, and it takes way more advantage of its vast move pool, whereas Smeagol cannot, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on to the actual most versatile Pokemon in the entire series. It is, of course, the god of all Pokemon themselves, Arceus. Arceus is the most versatile Pokemon in the whole series, even more so than Mew. And Arceus is the true embodiment of versatility itself. Arceus has 120 in each of its stats in its base state, which is extraordinary. This is a high stat value on any Pokemon, and the fact that it has 120 in all of its stats means it can truly do any role. Just like Mew and Jirachi could. It can be a physical sweeper, special sweeper, utility Pokemon, defensive wall, special wall. And what makes it even more versatile is the fact that Arceus' ability is multi-type. If it's holding a certain plate item, it will change into the type of that plate. So you can run normal type Arceus, and normal type Arceus is quite good on its own, but then Arceus can literally be any type that you want. It could be a fairy type, or a water type, or a grass type. Any type in the whole game, Arceus can just transform into it at will. And what could be more versatile than that? You can literally be anything you want. Arceus is like a make-your-own Pokemon, it feels like. Arceus can just be customized to literally any type, and then literally any role. It has Recovery, Will-O-Wisp, Stealth Rock, Calm Mind. It also has Judgment, which changes type based on the plate you're holding. So it has a stab move, special attack for every type. It has Swords Dance, so it can be a physical sweeper. It has a bunch of physical attacks, bunch of special attacks. It may not have a move pool as vast as Mew. Mew does beat it in terms of sheer options, but Arceus has pretty much everything it could possibly want. It doesn't have Defog anymore. That's something that I lost in Gen 9, but it gained Dragon Dance as a new tool, which is kind of insane for it. It also gained, I think it has Body Press now. Yeah, it has Body Press, Cosmic Power. So you can do that combo if you want, that old thing, and Stored Power. Yeah, it gets this. You can literally do this now, in case you wanted to. I can't imagine a Pokemon more versatile than Arceus. There's none that exist. And Arceus, I think, is a balanced Pokemon in the context of Ubers too. It exists to sort of adapt to the metagame around it and bring order and justice to things, in my opinion. And that does fit with its lore role as the god of all Pokemon. It exists to bring lore and order to things. And folks, those are what I believe to be the most versatile Pokemon in history, or at least some of them. Did I miss any noteworthy ones? You let me know down below in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.